Hey guys, Pam here with CraftHow, and I saw this cute piece of art in Hobby Lobby the other day, and I wanted to recreate it for myself and show you guys how I did it, so let's get started. The first thing that I did was pick a font, and I chose to use Quillin script, and I typed out my words and added an O at the beginning and an X at the end because I wanted the tail to come up from the O and go up to the top of the X so that I would have something to attach my lines to. And then I took my knife tool and cut off the edges of the letters that I didn't need, and then welded my word together, and did that for all of the words that I'm going to be using in the piece. The next thing that I wanted to do was to attach the lines to the edges of the words, and I did that by creating a long skinny rectangle and then duplicating it to the right so that I would have two separate pieces together in one long line. And then what I'm going to do is zoom way in here, and I want to make sure that the top of the tail of the word is touching the top of my bar. And then using my knife tool, I am just going to cut my bar right about where my words are and delete the part of the bar that I'm not going to use. And then scoot my bar over to the edge of the letter so that it's slightly overlapping. Highlight both of them and weld them together. From there, I entered point editing mode and deleted the top and bottom corner of each of the rectangles, and did that for both sides of the word. Same way, both sides. Just like that. Delete, delete. Move that over. Delete. And then weld, and then you would go in and delete out the edges of the rectangle again, just like you did before, to make it look like it's connected, just like that. I also wanted to put a heart at the bottom so that because I had an extra line to work with, so I made a heart in Silhouette, and I'll have a tutorial for that later on for you guys in my basic shape series. And using the knife tool, I'm going to cut those lines apart, make both of these a compound path, and then weld these together. And then again, you just go in and point edit to smooth out your lines however you want. Delete, delete. And then you've got your pieces there. Alright, so now I have all of my words with my tails attached. And they're all lined up here, but I actually want them to be centered so that I can align them properly. And I did that by using a technique that I call distance boxes. And all you have to do is take a box and draw it, doesn't really matter what size, and then duplicate that exact same box over to the other end of your word or image. And then take your knife tool and cut along the edges of those rectangles. And then when you delete your boxes and delete the ends that you cut off, each of your segments will be able to line up centered with each other perfectly. And then you can just go in and cut the lines on each side so that they'll be perfectly even as well. Just like that. Well, about like that, but you get the picture. Anyway, the last thing that you're going to do is to finalize the spacing on your piece, and that is just a matter of lining the top line about where you want it on the top of your piece and the bottom line about where you want it on the bottom. Select all of these and space them vertically, and then using more rectangles, we're going to place it where we want our keys on each line about centered, just like this. Highlight all of our rectangles and align them so that our edges are all even. Fill with black and then move them over just a bit. Cut along the edges of our piece. Delete our excess. And we're done. I think that looks pretty good, guys. How about you? Hope you have a great day. Happy crafting!